Most men spend their entire lives running away from a ghost that doesn't exist outside, but within. They build tall walls of ego, they wear bright, plastic smiles, and they drown their silence in the relentless noise of distraction, all to avoid meeting the one person they fear most, the man in the mirror. In the year 2026, the world has become a grand stage of performance. It has taught you to filter your face until the skin looks like glass, to edit your thoughts until they are harmless, and to bury your shadows beneath the artificial, glowing light of a digital screen. You are told that to be good is to be hollow, to be successful is to be seen, and to be happy is to ignore the storm brewing in your own chest. But Christopher knows a secret that the modern world has buried under a mountain of convenience: you cannot be whole if you are divided against yourself. You cannot be strong if you are terrified of your own darkness. The shadow is not a monster hiding under your bed, it is the long-lost part of your soul that you have refused to own, waiting patiently in the cold for you to invite it back inside. Your shadow is not your enemy, though it may look like one in the dim light of your subconscious. It is your untapped power, your primal engine, and your most honest witness. It is the part of you that knows how to say no with the force of a falling axe when the world demands a submissive yes. It is the part of you that possesses the necessary fire of aggression to protect what you love, the heavy weight of grief to honor what you have lost, and the cold, sharp edge of ambition to climb the mountains no one else dares to scale. When you suppress these things, when you label them as sins or weaknesses, they do not simply vanish into the ether, they rot. They ferment into a toxic sludge that becomes the unexplained anxiety keeping you awake at 3 in the morning. They become the quiet bitterness that poisons your morning coffee and the explosive rage that ruins your most precious relationships. To be a master of your destiny, you must stop being a victim of your own repressed nature. You must stop looking at the mirror and seeing only the mask you have polished for the public. You must look deeper, past the eyes, into the darkness of the man you have been hiding from for decades. You must invite the wolf to sit at your table, for a man who does not know his own capacity for destruction can never truly claim to be a man of peace. There is a dangerous lie being whispered in the corridors of modern society, the idea that being harmless is the same as being virtuous. Christopher is here to tell you that this is a trap for the weak. A man who is peaceful only because he lacks the teeth to be dangerous is not a moral man, he is a domesticated one. He is harmless by necessity, not by choice, and when the wolves of the real world come to his door in 2026, he will have nothing but his own helplessness to offer. But a truly peaceful man, a man of sovereign character, is a man who has teeth, claws, and the fire of a dragon, and yet chooses to keep them sheathed. He is a man who has looked into the abyss of his own potential for chaos, who has felt the thrum of his own inner predator, and decided to build a temple of discipline around it instead. This is the mastery of the shadow. It is not about becoming nice by cutting off your limbs, it is about becoming dangerous and then placing that danger under the absolute, iron control of your conscious will. This is the secret of the kings who built empires and the sages who moved mountains. They did not eliminate their darkness, they harnessed it as fuel for their light. Think of your shadow as a wild stallion, a beast of infinite strength and untamed spirit. If you try to kill it, you lose the very energy required to change the world. If you ignore it, it will grow resentful in its cage and eventually trample everything you hold dear in a moment of weakness. But if you break it, if you train it with the patience of a master, if you lead it with a steady, unyielding hand, it will carry you to heights that the average, fragmented man can only dream of. The greats of history were not men who lacked a dark side. They were men who had the largest shadows and the greatest courage to walk into those shadows every single day. In 2026, the system wants you to be a neutered, predictable version of yourself. It wants you to be easy to manage, easy to sell to, and easy to break. Christopher tells you to resist this. Reclaim your fire. Reclaim the cold steel of your inner warrior. Become a man who is capable of anything, but chooses the path of the sage. When you own your darkness, you no longer fear the darkness of the world outside. You become the predator of your own fears. To find the gold of your true self, you must go into the cave you have spent your whole life avoiding. Your greatest strengths are not lying on the surface for everyone to see, they are hidden behind the iron doors of your greatest shames. Perhaps your ambition was shamed into greed by those who were too lazy to strive. Perhaps your assertiveness was shamed into arrogance by those who were too timid to speak. We spend our youth cutting off pieces of our soul to fit into the cramped, suffocating boxes that society, school, and even family provide for us, until we are but a hollow fragment of the giants we were born to be. This is the source of your emptiness. This is why you feel like an imposter in your own skin, even when you achieve what the world calls success. You are missing the vital pieces of yourself that you left in the dark basement of your childhood. It is time to go back for them. It is time to walk down those cold, stone stairs with the flickering lantern of awareness and say to every monster you find there, I see you, I know your name, and you belong to me. This descent into the shadow is not a one-time journey, it is a daily, grueling discipline. It is the brutal honesty required to admit when you are motivated by envy instead of inspiration. It is the terrifying courage to acknowledge that within you, there is a capacity for cruelty just as great as your capacity for kindness. By shining the light of consciousness on these dark corners, you strip them of their power to control you from the shadows. A shadow only grows and becomes monstrous when it is ignored. When brought into the daylight of your own recognition, it transforms. It ceases to be a ghost and becomes a resource. It becomes the drive that pushes you to work while the rest of the world is sleeping. It becomes the iron in your spine that keeps your head high when the winds of 2026 try to bow it to the mud. You are not a creature of pure, blinding light, you are a complex being of stars and earth, of spirit and ancient dust. Accept the whole of yourself, the divine and the demonic, and you will become an unshakable fortress that no external storm can ever hope to breach. In the silence of every man's heart, there is a perpetual war being fought between the wolf and the sage. The common mistake, the mistake of the ordinary man, is trying to starve the wolf to death. But a sage without a wolf is a victim waiting to happen. He has no protector, no boundary, and no teeth. Conversely, a wolf without a sage is a mindless beast, a slave to its own hunger and rage. True mastery, the kind Christopher preaches, is the sacred union of the two. It is the ability to be terrifyingly fierce when justice is threatened, and profoundly gentle when a child needs comfort. It is the cold, razor-sharp calculation of the master strategist paired with the warm, beating heart of the protector. Look at the men in history who are truly respected, not just feared through power, but deeply respected in their souls. They carry an aura of contained power. They don't need to shout to be heard, they don't need to bark because everyone in the room instinctively knows they can bite. This is the ultimate freedom, the freedom from being a slave to your own hidden impulses because you have finally mastered them. As you build your grand architecture of destiny, as we discussed in our last meeting, do not forget to reinforce the dungeons. A castle without a dungeon is a house of cards. A man without a shadow is a man without depth, a ghost floating through life without leaving a footprint. In the coming years of 2026, the challenges we face will be heavier and more complex than anything our fathers knew. The storms will be louder, and the social madness will be more infectious. You will need your shadow. You will need that part of you that refuses to quit when the body is broken. You will need that part of you that is comfortable in the silence of the dark when the lights of civilization go out. Do not apologize for your strength. Do not apologize for the intensity of your gaze or the depth of your conviction. The world is already full of shallow men. It needs architects who have explored the deepest foundations of their own souls and emerged with the wisdom that only the darkness can teach. You are the bridge between the earth and the sky, and a bridge must be anchored deep in the mud to reach the stars. The final stage of the architect's journey is not victory over the shadow, but integration with it. It is the moment when the light and the dark no longer fight for dominance, but dance together to the rhythmic beat of your own sovereign will. You are no longer running from the past. You are no longer hiding from the mirror. You stand tall, a complete man, a unified individual who has integrated his demons and turned them into disciples. You look at the world of 2026 not with the wide, fearful eyes of a child who dreads the night, but with the calm, steady gaze of a master who owns the day and the night alike. Christopher sees the immense potential in you to become this man. He sees the palace you are building, and he knows that the most beautiful, most sacred rooms are the ones where the shadows create the most profound and moving art. Your life is not a series of mistakes to be erased, it is a masterpiece in progress, and every shadow you have faced is a stroke of the brush. Take one last, long look in that mirror before you walk away. Do not turn your head in shame. See the flaws as battle scars. See the darkness as your hidden treasury. And then, for the first time in your life, smile at the stranger in the glass. For you are the only creature on this planet capable of turning stone into spirit, suffering into wisdom, and shadow into a beacon of light. The hammer of will is in your right hand. The wolf of your nature walks at your left side. The sage of your soul sits on the throne of your heart. Go forth and build. Build a life that is not just seen by the masses, but felt by the very earth beneath your feet. Build a destiny that is so complete, so integrated, and so whole, that even when death finally comes, it will find nothing left to take but an empty, honored shell. Stay sharp. Stay focused. Stay unchained. The architecture of your soul is finally complete. Now, step inside and live as a king. The Duke is watching. Christopher is waiting. The world is finally yours to shape. Do not fail the man you were meant to be.